All right. Welcome back. You're on with the Ox. Bad week, guys. Holy mackerel. I am in some serious debt. I went 4-10 last week. Everything that I touched exploded. It was terrible, man. It was absolutely horrible. So I'm basically on the run from my bookie. And also, my significant other, because she's got no money for food. So what are you gonna do? This is my life. My life is football, and it's always gonna be my life. So there's some good weeks and bad weeks. But last week was a bad week. I went 4-10. That was tough. But what I really want to start with today is how freaking bad New York football, professional football is. It is disgraceful. As bad as the Giants were on Sunday, which was pathetic. How do you lose to the Arizona Cardinals at home in this really crappy stadium? And then the Jets come out the next night and just get blown up by the Patriots. Pathetic. Pathetic. I remember back in the 80s, man, the Jets and the Giants were awesome. It was like standing room only. You couldn't get better. You couldn't get better. And now I look at it, because I was I was a young guy, but I was back in the 70s with the Giants, and my dad had season tickets, and I remember going to a game. It was probably 78, 79, in that range. Okay, so I was just about, I was able to get somebody to buy me a beer at the beer stand and that kind of stuff. So it was probably 16, 15, whatever. But holy mackerel, they were burning their tickets. And I did some research this week. The Giants today, with the exception of 2016, okay, have not had a winning season since they won the Super Bowl in 2011 season. And not even close. It is brutal. It is brutal. And the Jets have just been as bad. They've had a couple here. Rex Ryan did some shit. And, Todd Bowles, who I like, I do. Born in the same hospital, same year, in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So I always have a warm spot for that guy. But, man, it is absolutely horrible. It's horrible. I don't know how... I don't know why people aren't burning their tickets. And believe me, season tickets for the Giants are like $1,500 a year. For one seat. That's insane. Are you out of your mind? So it's pretty dire, I think, in NYC with football. And there is no college football in New York, which is fine because, who cares about college football? But really, it's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. But with that, I'd like to welcome in the T-Bone. What's going on, T-Bone? How you been, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. So what's going on with you this week?
Nothing.
Nah?
No, yeah, just working.
Just working, huh? What are you working on?
Just going to work,
Just
9
going
to 5,
to 9 to 5. No
Yeah.
kidding. Wow, you got some gig. But how's the chick life going? Anything happening on that front?
We don't have to talk about that on the podcast.
We don't?
No, yeah.
Well, what else is
Well,
there
this
talking
was
about?
football talk.
It is, but it's a segue. It's a segue, Yeah. All right, if you don't want to talk, fine, you don't have to talk. Okay, we'll jump into some other things. Okay, now, even though you completely killed that part of my show. Okay.
I was going to keep going.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Thanks a lot, jerk off. All right, let's talk about the Packers, man. I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers is amazing. He really is. What he did on this past Sunday was just sensational. He's got this young guy that at first I don't think he liked, but I think he likes now. I think they're buddies, and they're very close in age. Aaron is still younger than the coach, but not by much, maybe 2 or 3 years. He comes out and he just rips it up, man. He is just doing what he does. And truly, he is, without question, to me, the best player in this league. And I even said that before Mahomes got hurt last week. And we'll get to that. But, Aaron Rodgers, he just knows how to play ball. He just knows how to win games, man. When you need a big play, he's got it. He really does. It was unfortunate that Pat Mahomes got hurt last week. And, for everything that I'm hearing, he's not going to be out long, but he's out. So that's the thing that's going to probably hurt them, because what's going to happen is the Patriots are not going to lose. They're just not going to lose. And then if you want to go to the Super Bowl, you got to do it through Foxborough, which is where the Patriots play. Okay? And I don't know if anybody can do that, especially now you're hearing rumblings that, this might be Tom Brady's last year. I mean, there's talk about this because, his house is on the market and his agent's house is on the market. Everybody's house is on the market. But, we're not talking my house, which is probably worth $106,000. And we're talking $70 million. So when you put your house on the market for $70 million, I think you're making a move, personally. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I mean, it'd be nice. I would love to put my house on the market for $70 million, but then I would own my house for the rest of my life. But that's a different story. But, I think this might be his last year. I think it really might be. And it's, which is good, 20 years in the league. Oh, my God. Tremendous player. But getting back to Pat Mahomes, if you want to go to the Super Bowl, I think you're going to have to go through New England, in New England. And I don't think that's easy, especially if this dude knows that it's his last year. He is going to be laser focused, right? Isn't that what he says? Laser focused. He's just a nut job. But he is truly the greatest player to ever play in the NFL. And I've been watching the NFL for 50 years. He really, truly is amazing. But, okay, so let's go down to the 49ers. And holy mackerel, this team is showed up with a defense that is kick-ass, man. Kick-ass defense. That defensive front is amazing. They are all high first-round picks, and they are really, really tearing it up. And I think they are definitely, at this point, okay, now it's only 6 games, so it's, what is that? Okay, we're going to say it's the third. We're a third of the way in. Normally, most coaches go quarters, each month, but we can go a third. And by far, they are the best team in the NFC, especially with their defense. Okay, and they got a good running game. That's no joke. And they just traded for Emmanuel Sanders. So I think they're jumping in, man. They are definitely jumping in. And I really do. I mean, the NFC East, I think, is I'll get to the Eagles in a second. I just don't see it. Minnesota's playing well. Green Bay obviously is playing very well. And the Saints are playing well. But the 49ers, I think, are a team that needs to be noticed big time. Okay, I'm going to get to Philly now. First of all, I gotta talk about Carson Wentz's suit, okay? Carson Wentz, I think, is a really good quarterback, and he's big, he's strong. Yeah, we talked about his neck acne and all that kind of stuff. But he showed up after the Cowboy game, and he really got his ass kicked in this suit. And this guy really has to realize where he comes from, okay? He's from, South Dakota. You don't wear a suit like that, bro. You just don't, okay? You're as white can be, okay? Don't pretend that you're from, Brownsville, Brooklyn, okay? You're a white dude. Wear a regular suit, okay? It was pathetic. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to portray? After you get your ass kicked? Oh, stop. But Philly's got some problems, man. They do. And the coach is talking too much, okay? We talked about the Cleveland coach last week, but we can't talk about Cleveland this week because they were on a bye week. So we're going to leave Cleveland alone. But, yeah, Philly's got some stuff, but the NFC East is just pathetic. The Giants are terrible. The Redskins are, forget about it. They're a train wreck. And, the Cowboys, they look kind of good, but they're really not good. So there's nothing going to come out of the NFC East, in my opinion. But, and then there's, again, more trades this week. Mohamed Sanu going from the Bengals to the Patriots. Okay, now, they gave up a second-round pick, which a lot of people are talking about. Why? Why a second-round pick? Because that seems like a lot for Mohamed Sanu. He was a third-round pick in the draft 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever he came out. And he came from Rutgers, local guy, good. I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong. But that seems like a pretty high number. But, the Patriots always draft at the end of the round. So, it's in the 60s. But, that tells me that there's something going on with somebody else, whether it's Josh Gordon or Dorsett. I think it's probably Josh Gordon. So he might just be going on the IR. But they gave up a lot for him. But they're big time in. Just like last week when we talked about the Rams going for Ramsey. They're in, and obviously he paid some big dividends this past week. He really did well because I don't know what's going on with the Falcons, and it's a shame because I like their coach a lot. I think they have so much talent, but I think the end might be near for Dan Quinn, which is a shame because I think his players love him. It's just that I just don't know what's not working there. The quarterback is fantastic, even though he had a really lousy game. But that's the only lousy game he had this whole year. And their defense, which has stars, is just not playing well. So, but that's what we're up to so far. Recapping, New York football is absolutely atrocious. It really is. And, thank God I don't live there anymore because I'd have a rope around my neck and I'd be jumping off the side of my fucking house because they are it's just pathetic. It is pathetic. And it brings me back, like I said, when they were burning tickets in the 70s, man. They were burning tickets. I remember walking down, and I was a young guy with my dad, and we walked down, and these guys were all drinking booze and having a bonfire with their season tickets. And I was like, wow, these guys are passionate dudes, man. This is the team I want to root for. But we're back there again. And it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's pretty atrocious.
Yeah, you went to a couple of games, right?
Yeah.
And they were actually playing good, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not anymore. I don't know, And, I remember the first show we had, we went through owners. Remember we said, and I was, since I'm a Giant fan, I was kind of on the fence with the Giants. Okay. Right. Well, I'm officially off the fence. Okay. John Mara is a complete fucking jerk off. He really is, T-Bone. You know what? He was handed this team. His dad did all the work. Steve Tisch is awesome. He's a Hollywood producer. He can do anything he wants to do. But John Mara is completely blown this thing up. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And you know what town he lives in?
What town?
Harrison, New York.
Oh, get out of
Do you know who else lives in Harrison, New York?
I think I know some guy.
Yeah, there's a guy that we know, that you know, that lives in Harrison, New York. All right? Yeah, I think you do. And it's terrible. It's terrible. How can you do this? Okay. Do I think they're going the right direction? Yes. Okay. A lot of hiccups with the new quarterback. Get it. Okay. Superstar running back. Okay. Okay. But after that, it's bad. It's bad. And it sucks. And it sucks to be a fan, especially if you have to pay $1,500 a year to sit in that stadium in one seat. Do you think that's a little extravagant? That's a lot of money, right? Yeah, you can't do it.
Especially if they're losing all season.
Losing? They're not even competing. Are you freaking kidding me, T-Bone? Come on. It's nuts. It is absolutely nuts. So, look, I don't want to jump off. I really don't, but I'm pretty frustrated with this team that I've grown up with, that 10 years old, I went to my first game at Yankee Stadium, bro. Yankee Stadium. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles.
How are your favorite team?
Oh, man, by 8 points. I was standing behind a freaking pillar. It was just unbelievable. And I was like, that was the beginning. In fact, my father probably should have got locked up for child abuse for raising me as a Giant fan. There's only one person that's worse than that, is somebody that raises their kid as a Jet fan. Okay? But really, it's truly child abuse. It's truly child abuse. You know, you really should, that guy should be taken away in bracelets and, forget it. Throw the key away. But just the only reason why it's worse to be a Jet fan is that the Giants have found a way to win Super Bowls. I mean, really, it's crazy, But that's really what it's come down to. But major disappointment, especially when New England just keeps going on, which is great. I love Bill Belichick. I think I've said it before. He was a big part of the Giants' success. And, Seattle, another great team, some bumps in the road. But other than that, I mean, who's what? The Redskins are terrible, absolutely terrible, but their owner's terrible. Their owner is 10 times worse than the Giants' owner. 10 times, okay? He just, he called in his head coach that he was going to fire at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So this dude who was John Gruden's brother, Jay Gruden, very good coach, and he was there and he was patient. Snyder was patient with this guy, and he calls him he couldn't just wait till he came in, used his key card and come in and have a cup of coffee. He say, "Hey Jay, guess what? Get the hell out of here." Okay, that would be fine. Call him in at 5 in the morning. Hey, boss wants to see you. Oh, this can't be good. Okay? Get out of Dodge, man. This is what this clown did. And, no wonder why you suck so bad, you actually make the Giants look good. And that's hard to do because they suck really bad. They really do. But since the Redskins are in the division, the Giants don't look so bad. Which is a problem for me because the Giants are really, really bad. Okay? I understand they're going in a different direction and maybe, there's Danny Dimes was doing this, but Danny Dimes is not doing well. Okay? He turns the ball over way too much, but I'm not going to dwell too much on the Giants because I just don't want to talk about them because it pisses me off and it just really, makes me sad. But, so let's get to some other teams, okay? So, I tell you what, Philly, holy smokes. It doesn't bother me that Philly's sucking so bad because, I don't think I hate anybody more than I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, and that includes people. But, look, they, the coach is talking, and he's saying he's going to go down and beat Dallas, and, part of me wants him to go down and beat Dallas, but, Dallas is like, no, you're a jerk. We're going to kick the crap out of you. But he's got carte blanche because he won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, man. All right, so I remember I came in the other night, and who was that girl on the couch?
We're bringing this up again?
Yeah, who was that girl on the couch, man?
The blonde girl?
Yeah, bro.
Or the black girl?
I didn't remember the black girl. Maybe that's when I turned the lights out. But dude, man, are you serious? What the heck is going on with you? I mean,
What, dude?
No, I mean, I know you're just trying to get along. You're like Joe Namath, all right? I mean, but holy mackerel, that girl. Whew!
Smoke show, right?
I don't know who your dad is, but he must have been some player. That's what I got to tell you.
Yeah. I get my stunning looks from him. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, he was a supermodel as well?
Well, no, my mom was, but I got his personality from him.
I think I did see a picture of your mother, and she was quite staggering.
All right. We don't got to talk about that.
We don't have to talk about your mom?
No. We can just keep my mother out of this if you don't mind.
You want to square off with me? You prick? All right, let's move on. Okay, you know what I want to talk, you're such a pussy. All right, I want to talk about John Elway. Now, John Elway is the president of the Denver Broncos, and obviously he was the superstar quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And he has this job title that he is the president, okay? And then, unfortunately, Pat Bowden got sick and subsequently passed away. And now everything's in flux, okay? But John Elway's still making these decisions. And you know what? Just because you are a superstar freaking quarterback doesn't mean you are really entitled to run a pro football franchise. And I really feel that the Broncos should get rid of him. But is that easy to do? Because, okay, he won those 2 Super Bowls in the late 90s. He lost 3 in the early 80s. Late 80s, early 90s. This guy is great. Great athlete. But he can't pick a quarterback to save his life. And he can't really run a franchise. And, they got a lot of talent on that team. And he's blown it. So, I don't know if it's in the courts or whatever's going on with what's going on out there. But Elway's got to go. He really does. I think I can do a better job. And I'm a nobody. But I know I can do a better job than that guy. Because you know what? I'd pick the right people. All right. And I think their coach is great. I mean, he's an old school coach and all that kind of stuff. And they're probably going to let him go, which really sucks. But Elway's got to go. Big time. So now I want to talk about the greatest player that's not talked about in this league. And his name is Quentin Nelson. And he's a guard, offensive guard for the Indianapolis Colts. And with the exception of Aaron Donald, and I tell you what, if the Rams played the Colts, I would take Nelson over Donald. That's how great I think this guy is. He is the second coming of John Hannah, and he's probably going to go down, with the exception of John Hannah, as the greatest offensive guard. This guy wrecks people. I mean, he wrecks them. If you watch the games and you can pause it and do all this kind of stuff, you gotta see what this guy does. He is just the biggest bully on the block, and in a good way. 6th pick at the draft last year, okay? So here was the people that were picked before him. Baker Mayfield. Okay, we all know what I feel about Baker Mayfield. Saquon Barkley. Love him. I do. Great, unbelievable player. Sam Darnold had some problems a couple nights ago, but I think he's going to be good. I really do. And then you had the kid from Buffalo, who was great. But then you got this guy, Quentin Nelson. And you had the kid from Denver, Chubb, the linebacker. Good player. This guy, Quentin Nelson, blows everybody up. He really does. And people say, oh, he's an offensive guard. Let me tell you something, man. He's the biggest dude on the planet, and he beats the hell out of almost everybody he faces. I think he does beat the hell out of everybody he faces. And he is an amazing, amazing football player. And I think he's just gonna change everything. I mean, look, what makes the Cowboys so good? They have a good offensive line. This guy is the offensive line. And that's why Andrew Luck retires, okay? And the Colts are in first place. They're 5-2. First place. Yes, Jacoby Brissett is playing well. Marlon Mack is a really good running back. They have a really good defense. But Quentin Nelson is the guy. He's the guy. T-Bone, no question. This dude is it, man. And that's what makes a great team, is guys like him. All right. So I know I touched on it earlier, so I'm bringing it back. We're going to talk about the Washington Redskins, okay? Great fan base, terrible stadium. Probably, I would think next to Mark Davis for the Raiders, the worst owner in the league. I would have to say that. And here's the thing. He's like a cancer for this team. The man obviously is super successful. In his 30s, he bought the team because he was so successful in his business. And I'm not really sure what his business was, but he is a horrible owner. Horrible owner. And, I can't see the Redskins doing anything positive as long as he's involved. He's almost like, I don't want to get political, but he's almost like the Donald Trump of the NFL. Just a buffoon that just says the worst things and just doesn't give anybody a chance. So I'd like him for the simple fact that he's in the same same division as the New York Giants, but that doesn't really give me too much solace because, then we're just the third worst team in the division, not the fourth worst team. But he is terrible. I mean, he is a terrible freaking dude. No patience. He's the one that wanted to draft the quarterback that they drafted, and everybody. And he's got some yes men there. Bruce Allen, who was George Allen's son, and George Allen was probably, with the exception of Joe Gibbs, the greatest coach for the Washington, D.C. Redskins. And he's just a yes man. I mean, that dude is a career, whatever he is, but, he just goes along with what the owner says. And, come on, man, you got to stand up for yourself. What the hell? If you're just collecting a paycheck, hey, good for you, man. But you know what? It doesn't get you a lot of respect. And I know he likes to say a lot of things at the owners' meetings and stuff like that. And he was on the Raiders with the Tuck rule, and he still has a hard on about that. But you know what? You haven't done dick, bro. And you're basically on your dad's coattails. All right? And your dad's been dead for 20 years. I mean, give me a freaking break. So Bruce Allen, you're just as bad as Dan Snyder. You suck, all right? But you're collecting a paycheck, so, you're basically on welfare. So, way to go, Bruce. All right, one more thing that's kind of bothering me a little bit. Like I said, I've been watching football for well over 50 years, about 50 years, okay? And I'm not saying well over, so say it's 50 years. And you know what kills me is this microphones in the helmet. I mean, why do you have to be? To me, it just breeds cheating. Okay, like it's supposed to stop 15 seconds in the play clock, and then all of a sudden the mic shuts off. Do you really believe that? I don't believe that. I think anybody can manipulate anything. So you can talk, so you can tell your quarterback, okay, they're in man-to-man, they're in zone, you got this guy, you got this guy. I'm telling you, if these guys who are college graduates, they have a piece of paper, okay, and they can't call a play by themselves, then why the hell you want them on your freaking team, okay? And then, they said, we're going to give the middle linebacker the same thing. To me, it's junk. Just take the mics out of the helmets because everybody's going to manipulate it. Everybody's going to cheat it, okay? And everybody's going to go to the Patriots. I understand that because they've been caught, okay? But everybody does exactly the same stuff, okay? So get rid of it. To me, if you can't send in a hand signal, baseball sends hand signals in, okay? And they have the whole play on their wrist. So you can just send in 4. You can just put up 2 fingers each way and say, okay, run play number 4, and it's it. The fact that you get to talk to them, don't like it, never like it. I think it just sets up for cheating, really. And sets up for more nonsense down the road. And like the NFL needs more nonsense. Come on. I mean, it's like a circus already. It's nonsense. But I'm kind of pissed off about that. I just don't think it belongs in the game. I really don't, But I'm an old schooler type guy, whatever. But I just had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, obviously we know we didn't do good in our picks last week. I'm in major debt. I'm on the run from my bookie. I was 4-10. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But this week, this is when I'm going to turn it around. I'm really going to turn it around. And so we're going to start with tomorrow night's game at Minnesota, the Washington Redskins at the Minnesota Vikings. And they're getting 16 points. I would be a jerk, if I didn't take the Washington Redskins, because I made that big speech last week. And so I'm taking the Washington Redskins. Because 16 points is like, what are you, out of your mind? That is like insane, all right? And, I know it's, Kirk Cousins playing his old team. But look, this new team is paying him $84 million, okay? Well, after next year, guaranteed. I don't think he really cares about beating Washington. But so I'm going to take Washington. Oh. Here comes the next one. The New York Football Giants are getting 7 points going to Detroit Lions. Wow. Man, that is pathetic. That is pathetic. And you know what? I'm going to go New York Giants because I'm a jerk. Okay? But I'm getting 7 points. So I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm hoping to cover. I better cover because, my God, I might have to foreclose on my house with my bookie breathing down my throat. Okay, something local. Oh, it's up in Nashville, one of my favorite towns. In fact, T-Bone, isn't that your favorite town?
It's one of my favorite towns.
Yeah, why?
It's a lot of fun.
What's so fun about it?
It's a lot of
girls, man. Oh, Chiva, man. All right, I don't blame you there. So the Tampa Bay Bucks are coming up in Nashville, and the Tampa Bay is getting 2.5 points. What would you do there? Let me ask you this, okay? Say we went up to the game, you and I, okay? And so we arrive at, it's Central Time, so the game is 12 o'clock, noon. And say we get there at 11. And so we stop, and maybe, we have a...
Bars open at 9.
Oh, bars are never closed in that town. Do we actually make the game?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, bro. I don't think so either. So there is no home field advantage. But I got to tell you, I don't know if this sounds crazy, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay on this one, man. I am. I'm going to take the TB, and I'm going to get 2.5 points. But here it is, bro. I just took 3 underdogs, first 3 picks. So either I'm going down in flames, or I'm coming back, and I'm getting the nose by a hair. Anyways, okay. Here's one that I know I'm going to do. Chicago, the Los Angeles Chargers, even though I usually call them the San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers are coming to Chicago. It's 12 o'clock kickoff, Central Time, and Chicago's in shambles. And the Chargers are pissed because they got shafted last week. I am going with another underdog. I'm going to LA Chargers, and I'm getting 4 points. Are you out of your mind? 4 points? You know what this is? Oh, my God, this is insane, man. This is insane. I mean, they're just going to give me there's going to be a Brinks truck that shows up at my house on Monday, and they're going to give me a lot of money because this is like taking candy from a baby. All right, here we go. Seattle. Oh, my God, down the road to Atlanta. They're in Atlanta, and they're giving the Falcons 6.5 points. Dude, are you kidding me? I mean,
They've been struggling.
they have been. Don't know about the quarterback. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to take Seattle in this one. Yeah, I know. But I'm giving 6.5 points. You know? I mean, last week I took what do you call it? Against Washington. Who played Washington? Oh, the 49ers.
Yeah.
9.5 points. They won 9-0. Okay? The nose was at my freaking doorstep fucking at 3 o'clock in the morning. This fucking scumbag. Anyways, okay. The New York Football Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jets are getting 6 points. What would you do with this one? Come on, talk to me. Talk to me, Bones.
I mean, I picked the Jets because
I think so too. Why not, right? You know?
Jacksonville's not the threat.
No, and also this whole thing about like seeing ghosts and shit like that for Sam Darnold, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. And I'm getting 6 points from that. That is just
That's
awesome.
one of the only underdogs I picked, though.
Well,
Besides the Chargers.
well, I already picked 3 of the first 4, so obviously you don't agree with me, you little prick. All right, so we got Philadelphia at Buffalo. Now this is an interesting game, and Buffalo is actually favored by 1.5.
I agree with that.
They got a really good defense. They got a really good coach, and Philly. I don't know. This is a tough one. But I don't know. I think I'm going Philly. I really do, man. I don't know why, but I'm getting 1.5. And the thing is that Buffalo didn't blow me away playing Miami last week. I think they should have just crushed them. I understand it's a division game. I do understand that. And
The Eagles got crushed by the Cowboys.
They did. So, we'll see what. I don't know. Look, I already made the pick, so fuck it. Here we go. The Rams minus 13 points at Cincinnati in London. Whew. Cincinnati. Because, you know what? It's travel, bro. They're coming from L.A. You know how far it is to London from Los Angeles? Yeah. This
They're
is
all traveling, though. I mean,
Yeah,
once
but-
you hit the 6-hour mark, everyone's all fucked up.
no. Cincinnati's that's like a nothing. Okay, L.A. That's far. Even though their owner is awesome, and I'm sure he's going to send them on a great plane. All right, there'll probably be a lot of broads on the train, then the plane, and all that kind of stuff. And yes, but I think they're going to be pretty tired when they get off that plane. So I'm going with Cincinnati. At New Orleans, Arizona's coming in. Arizona just came to the Giants last week. The Giants suck. We all know. But 9.5 points at New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater. That's a tough one. What do you think?
Take New Orleans.
Oh, Chiba. All right, I'm going to go with the T-Bone on this one. I'm not saying I completely agree with him, but I'm going to take his advice. But next week, if they lose, then it's all on Tom Bone. Okay, Oakland going to Houston. Getting 6.5. This is Houston all the way. All the way. And I don't mind giving a touchdown away. I really don't. All right. San Francisco hosting Carolina and giving 5.5. To me, this is money. San Fran. Are you kidding me? Backup quarterback? They got Christian McCaffrey. He's coming back to Stanford. That's where he went to school. He's good, but I'm telling you, San Fran's defense is like kick-ass, take names. No problem. Okay, Denver coming to Indianapolis. 6 points. What do you think, T-Bone?
I don't know.
You gotta be a little more.
I'll go Denver.
Well, you can go Denver. I'm going Indy. Are you kidding me? Indy is like kicking ass and taking names. I don't mind giving up 6 points. And Joe Flacco is going to get his ass kicked. And I just talked about Quentin Nelson, did I not? Quentin Nelson is going to blow up everybody, and Marlon Mack is going to have 2 touchdowns. I hope, because he's on my fantasy football team. Okay. The Cleveland Browns, oh my God, is going to the New England Patriots.
Oh, they're going there?
Yep, 13 points. They're bringing 13 points with them.
Man.
Oh my God, what do you think we should do on this one,
The
bro?
money on the Browns.
What?
No,
Are you
I'm kidding,
serious?
I'm kidding.
What did Emmett call you? Did Emmett call you? That guy, you haven't heard nothing from Emmett because he knows that his team sucks. But that's okay. You want Cleveland? I'll go with Cleveland.
No,
13
I was
points is a lot of
kidding. I
money.
was just kidding.
What do you want to do? Oh, the Pats. Okay, we're going to the Pats. But we're giving 13 points, bro. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, but you're going to get 16 from the Washington game, no?
Yeah, but I'm going the other way on this one.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Do you understand how the whole point spread works there, T-Bone? All right. All right. Last but not least, and it's the Sunday night game. It's the Green Bay Packers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Kansas City does not have Patrick Mahomes. We know that. They're coming in with Aaron Rodgers. They're coming in with everything. And they're giving Kansas City, at Kansas City, 4.5 points. What do you like here?
I think Green Bay.
Ah, you got that right, kid. Green Bay minus 4.5. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least, I can't believe this point spread. Okay. It's at Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers are hosting the Miami Dolphins, and they're giving Miami 14.5 points. 14.5 points, bro. Pittsburgh, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
No way. I'm going to put a little side thing that you took Pittsburgh, but I'm taking Miami on this one because I'm the one who has to put my face out there. So I'm going to take Miami, and I'll put a little star next to it that you took Pittsburgh with 14.5 points. I'm going to put Pitt T-Bone. There we go. All right. Man, you're going to get your butt kicked. That's a side bet.
so.
That's a side bet right here.
Okay, that's
Okay?
fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's going to happen. Okay? If I win that game, okay, I get the girl on the couch.
I don't think so. I don't know about that. We're not betting women here.
Why? Everything's up for grabs, bro. No?
No, just cash. Come on.
Just cash?
Just cash.
You don't have any cash.
What are you talking about?
You
don't
got
know
cash?
You're not my banker.
No, I'm not your
Not my
banker.
accountant.
I'm not your accountant. I am nothing. But I'm taking the girl on the couch if you lose that bet.
All right, fair enough.
All right. So with that being said, anything else we need to talk about? It seems like we didn't talk about enough women this week, and I'm really a little bummed about that. But I want to give a shout out to CJ RJ, the hyphen girl from Michigan, and obviously Susan from upstairs, who must be out of town. I don't know where she is, but I haven't seen her in a while. And I forgot to tell you that we have a sponsor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we have a sponsor. We're actually somebody's paying us, even though I haven't seen any green, but we have B and B Landscape Company in Westchester County, New York. If you want to get like completely bamboozled, then you should call these guys because they will come and they will put lines in your grass and maybe cut some of it. But they're paying me, so I think they're great. They are absolutely the best landscape company that I've ever paid or hired. They're great. Also, if you want, home heating fuel or pool water, you know, you go to check Clark. They're out there. You know, they're all good. And if you really want the worst, I can say this knowing, but the worst construction company, that would be Akshoka Industries. They are absolutely terrible. But, you know, they show up and they have a good time at your expense. So, all right. So let's shut it off for another week. And, you know, I got to come big because I am in some major debt with my bookie. So hopefully my picks work. And, you know, we'll see. We'll talk next week. But next week, maybe we'll have some women on the show because I think we need them. Because believe me, our personalities aren't good enough to carry this thing. So we'll see you next week. Adios. Say goodbye, Tom.
See you later.